In life, there are many things we do without thinking too much. From brushing our teeth to expressing love to those we care about, there are countless habits and behaviors that we often overlook. But have you ever stopped to think about how what we do in relationships is really influenced by emotions and psychological impacts? Every action, every word, whether conscious or unconscious, carries deep psychological factors that we rarely acknowledge. So, have you ever asked yourself, why do we act the way we do in relationships? Why can a small gesture sometimes create a big shift in the emotions of the other person? These invisible factors have a powerful influence on how we connect with each other. Today, we will explore some powerful psychological truths about love and relationships that very few people ever talk about. These truths not only help you better understand the hidden forces behind your actions but also provide valuable insights into how we build and maintain meaningful relationships. Let's dive into these truths and see what they mean in our lives. Only here on Inner Stillness. Love and relationships are complex, often misunderstood, and full of contradictions. It's no surprise that many people feel confused about what love truly is or how to navigate the complex dynamics of human relationships. In a world where love can be both sweet and painful, understanding the psychological factors behind it can make it easier for us to build and maintain lasting relationships. So, let's explore some psychological truths that may change the way you view love and relationships. The unexpected power of anger. When you're angry with someone you love, your mind may be clouded by frustration, but your heart still cares deeply for them. Anger may cause us to lose control for a moment, but it can also be an opportunity to better understand our own emotions and those of our partner. In reality, anger isn't always a bad thing. Sometimes, it's just a sign that we're feeling hurt or disappointed. However, what's important is to be careful with what you say in the heat of the moment. Words can last longer than you think. A careless remark can leave a lasting wound in your partner's heart. And sometimes, it can take a long time to heal those wounds. The power of empathy and forgiveness. One of the most crucial elements in any relationship is the ability to empathize and forgive. Sometimes, misunderstandings or conflicts arise not because we lack love, but because we fail to understand each other's emotions. Empathy is not just about listening to your partner, but about putting yourself in their shoes to understand why they act the way they do. Forgiveness doesn't mean accepting wrong actions, but freeing yourself from negative emotions, allowing the relationship to grow in a healthier way. When we learn to forgive and empathize, love becomes deeper, and the relationship becomes stronger. Relationships as delicate as birds. A relationship is like a bird. If you hold it too tightly, it can die. If you hold it too loosely, it will fly away. But if you hold it with care, respect, and trust, it will stay with you forever. In every relationship, balance is key. When we love, we may feel the urge to hold on tightly to the person we love, fearing that if we let go, they will leave. However, possessive love creates a suffocating environment that can slowly erode the sense of freedom that both individuals need. On the other hand, when we become too relaxed, without attention and commitment, the relationship can gradually fade over time. A strong relationship requires care, respect, and trust. Care doesn't mean control, but the ability to listen, share, and understand. Respect doesn't mean no disagreements, but the ability to resolve differences in a mature way. Trust is the solid foundation that helps us overcome challenges in any relationship. When you learn to balance love with freedom, the relationship will grow stronger, more beautiful, and last longer. The power of self-growth. Sometimes, the greatest lesson you can learn is when you go through your worst moments alone. It's in those moments of solitude that you realize you no longer care too much about who will stay or who will leave your life. In difficult times, when everything seems to fall apart, that's when you realize your true strength. It's not love or support from others, but your ability to stand strong, overcome challenges, and find peace within yourself. You come to understand that growth and maturity don't just come from external relationships, but from understanding and loving yourself. Self-growth is not an easy journey. It requires facing your fears, confronting your imperfections, and sometimes enduring moments of loneliness. But when you learn to accept yourself and stop worrying about who will stay or leave, you will become a stronger version of yourself. ready to embrace any challenge life brings. Right or healthy? It's easy to fall into the trap of proving you're right, especially during arguments. But often, being kind is far more important. In moments of disagreement, when emotions are running high, we can get caught up in defending our point of view, feeling the need to prove that we're the one who's right. However, proving right doesn't always help. And more often than not, it only adds more tension to the relationship. What matters is not who is right or wrong, but how we face each other in difficult moments. People don't need a smart piece of advice. They need someone who listens with their whole heart. Genuine listening and showing empathy are the ways we nurture relationships. Love and understanding never come from winning or losing, but from how we can understand and be there for each other, even in the face of disagreements. So, when faced with an argument, remember that sometimes kindness and empathy can heal wounds far deeper than any words of truth. The truth is not always the most important thing, but the love and respect we show each other. Love and action. Trust in a relationship is never built through words alone. It requires consistent actions and evidence of reliability. In life, words are easy to say, but it's actions that create real and lasting change, especially in love. A promise means nothing if it's not followed by action. Every action we take, no matter how small, is proof of our care and commitment to our partner. Similarly, love is only strong when backed by actions. When you show your love through caring acts, thoughtfulness, or simply offering a warm hug during difficult moments, that love becomes deeper. Love is not just sweet words or fleeting emotions. True love must be demonstrated through practical, consistent actions. If you don't show your love, then it's just an empty promise with no real substance. So, don't just talk about love, let your love be shown through sincere and meaningful actions. That's the way to build and maintain a strong, lasting relationship. The first to apologize is the bravest. Apologizing first requires vulnerability and courage. When you apologize, you're opening your heart to admit your mistakes and weaknesses. It's not an easy act because it requires you to face feelings of shame and pride. However, the first person to apologize is the strongest, because they are not afraid to acknowledge their faults and are willing to restore the relationship with sincerity. Similarly, the first person to forgive is also the strongest, and the first to forget is the happiest. Forgiveness is not just about letting go of someone else's wrongs, but it's about freeing yourself from negative emotions, resentment, and hurt. Forgiveness is the way to regain peace in your soul and not let the past control your present. These are not just words, they are the keys to achieving inner peace in any relationship. When you can apologize and forgive sincerely, you not only mend the relationship with others but also heal your own heart. The courage to face mistakes and the generosity to forgive will lead you to a life of peace and greater happiness. The lesson of letting go. One of the hardest lessons in life is learning to let go, whether it's guilt, anger, love, loss, or betrayal. These feelings, while painful and uncomfortable, can hold us back from growth and happiness. Holding on to negative emotions or painful memories only keeps us tied to the past and prevents us from moving forward. Change is never easy, and we often resist it because we fear losing what is familiar, even though it no longer serves us. However, sometimes the only way to move forward is to loosen your grip on what no longer serves you. Letting go is not about giving up or running away, it's about accepting that there are things we cannot change and need to leave behind in order to keep moving forward. When you let go, you not only free yourself from the burden but also create space to welcome better things into your life. The lesson of letting go is a crucial part of the journey towards growth and inner peace. When you learn to let go, you will feel lighter and freer, and life will become easier, no longer weighed down by things that no longer align with the person you are becoming. Loneliness and connection. There are people who come into our lives not because we like them, but because their absence makes us feel so lonely that we cannot bear it. When we feel lonely, we are often tempted to seek comfort from anyone who can fill that void. But true connection is not about filling the gap of loneliness with just any relationship. In reality, true connection is about seeking relationships that bring meaning, understanding, and joy, not just soothing the pain of absence. Loneliness is a natural part of life, but when we learn to accept it and understand that loneliness isn't inherently bad, we can truly find authentic connections. When you learn to love and take care of yourself, you'll realize that you don't need to rely on the presence of others to feel complete. True connection comes not from avoiding loneliness, but from building relationships that are valuable and connect with people who genuinely understand and appreciate you. Love without action is not love. It's often said that love means nothing without action. Love only exists and grows when it is expressed through concrete actions, small gestures like checking in, sharing feelings, or grander acts like supporting each other through tough times. A loving word without action becomes an empty phrase, lacking real substance and significance. Similarly, trust without evidence has no value, and an apology without change is meaningless. Trust must be built through specific actions, over time, and through the reliability of others. An apology, if not followed by a change in behavior, is simply a hollow expression, not enough to heal the wounds in a relationship. True love is not about sweet words, but about the actions that demonstrate care and sacrifice. These actions are proof of real love, of commitment, and of the relationship you are building. Therefore, remember that love is not just about words, but about concrete actions that back those words up. Choosing a life partner. Don't just search for the best partner. Look for the person who helps you become the best version of yourself. We often dream of a perfect relationship, where everything goes smoothly and there are no worries. However, true love is not about perfection, it's about two people walking together, learning, and growing together. When looking for a life partner, don't just focus on superficial qualities or what society deems as best or perfect. Instead, seek someone who helps you grow and become the best version of yourself. The ideal partner is someone who loves you not only when you are at your best but also stands by your side during difficult times, supporting you through challenges and helping you learn from your mistakes. Love is not about perfection, but about supporting and encouraging each other to grow. When two people help each other become better versions of themselves, the relationship will flourish and become deeply meaningful. So, instead of searching for a perfect person, look for someone who can build a meaningful life with you, where both of you grow and overcome every challenge together. When thinking about relationships, it's not just about romantic gestures or declarations of love. True love is built on respect, trust, and mutual understanding. As we've learned, love isn't just what's spoken, it's nurtured through actions, sacrifice, and learning how to navigate the toughest parts of life together. The path to meaningful relationships is paved with wisdom, patience, and sometimes pain. Each challenge, each difficulty in relationships brings a valuable lesson that helps us grow and understand more about ourselves and others. So, if you've ever wondered whether you're doing things right, remember this: it's the small, consistent actions that make the biggest difference in relationships. Those little gestures of love, thoughtful care, and sincere words, these small things carry immense power. I'd love to hear your thoughts on the psychological truths we've explored today. Do you agree? What's your biggest lesson in relationships? Share your experiences in the comments below. If this video resonated with you, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share it with someone who might need these lessons. Let's keep the conversation going, because in relationships, the more we learn, the better we become.